We are the Sports Science and Protection Center of USD. Since the services we provide are voluntary, we also thank you for your participation and research. We will be using your information for research purposes, so I'll need you to sign the consent form. Please take off your socks and sit down.
Ah.
Oh,
That's okay. Okay. So the SOP should remove the earring. There's a conflict. In your SOP, you say the earring, so we don't leave any conflict. If it's okay, then we remove. Does that make sense for you? Okay. Cool. So always knee flex to have a stable base of support. Then you have, because this is a perfect IT band stretch. IT band is a very easy to tight tissue, but very difficult to stretch. Okay, so right. Okay, then you help to mobilize the IT band. Okay, there is a GT. You make a circumduction to avoid friction. You make a circumduction for her. Then you ask her hand on the ankle. This is totally sufficient for her. Okay. Then you also apply the tape, eye tape, from here to here for her inside the curtain. All right. Okay. Julie, go for this, or you go for that. You go for this. Okay. Then I will prefer always apply the K tape. If you want to do fascial relaxation, you always follow by repetition of stretching. Better effect. It's her case. When the pain decreases from 8 to 3 after PNF stretching, I take the opportunity to find, because I think that there's something wrong otherwise. Then we find another secondary point. So in this case, you need to teach her how to. If the upper trapezium, you do the chin in, you rotate. You rotate to the same side. You side bending to the opposite side. Okay? You do this. She will feel stretch on upper trapezium. 定要摸给他说，我等一下拉这里，让他知道，等一下你要感觉的是这里在后面一点，了解吗？所以你就在这里后面一点的时候换这里咯 OK， 这时候 You also protect the neck. You do the chin in. You rotate to the opposite side. Rotate on the opposite side. Then always stabilize the shoulder. So you stabilize the shoulder like this. Don't elevate the same shoulder. You do the hand on this. And you do a perfect levator spine stretch. Then she will tell you that she feels stretch posteriorly to compare with the previous one. 75% for the tissue, 25% for your tape. Is that okay? Okay, we practice the eye shape on them. Okay, thank you for today's class. 好。When you do the bounty cut, don't take the tape from the paper like this. Okay, because in this way you can keep your ankle safe. Your finger will not touch the gel because you want to keep as much as gel possible to have a very firm ankle. Okay, the ankle I leave for this. Then from proximal to the distal part. And do we stretch the tape for lymphatic correction technique?
Yes.
There?
No.
Ling, okay. There is a debate. Okay, there is a debate. Miss Long, Xiaolong, Teacher Long. Okay. Plan 10%.
10%.
10%.
Yeah, just like paper off.
Okay. Me and Nian Qi and Pei Yu, 0%. Okay.
Yeah. Of
And
course.
for this difference in 10%, we have some strong debate. But that's okay. We talk. Think that we should. It doesn't make sense. If, look at this. Okay. We have a stretch. Do you feel pain? If I go further, you will feel really pain. But if I position here for a while, is that okay? In neutral position. Don't stretch the tissue, don't stretch the tape. You just detach from it. In the proximal part, you apply the tape here. That's it. And you can see if you paper off when the tape on the paper a little bit stretch 10%. So if you detach from the paper, you can actually shrink back to 100. Okay. So my habit And some of them use this. You don't stretch at all. Okay, some tense, some at all. Then if you do this, you will see there's a wrinkle back. Alright? Okay. So this is a cutting technique for that. You stretch the tissue. You don't stretch this, or you stretch the minimum. Let's do this. You do this, combine more dorsiflexion, because the tissue is being stretched more, so you will have better wrinkle. Today, when you practice this, I will go to you to see whether you produce wrinkle or not. If no wrinkle at all, you can see this. Look at this. You wouldn't have any wrinkle at all for this because you stretch too much. Okay, you create no space. Alright? Okay. So let's practice this. Space correction, the same thing. Okay. So we go back to space correction. Lymphatic correction, and also we have space correction. Is that lymphatic correction? Not necessary to put on the around the joint. But space correction should be a little bit lower because I want to cross multiple joints, the talocrural joint, the calcaneus. So, would you like to practice with me already? You have the scissor on hand, okay? Then you have your tape, okay? So you have done a very good job during this semester. Especially this is our first try to deliver EMI course in internship. And internship, sports injury internship, is already very difficult in Taiwan Tech because we do not have College of Physical Education. We do not have College of Medicine. However, we have you as our future expectation, which can devote yourself in this discipline, so that we remind what we have done together this semester. We have several lecturing. We have invited international well-known speakers as our guest lecture in this semester. We also run 3 times of PBL, and this is our last time. PBL, we engage 2 lectures into the first and second section. And the third section, you have done very good PPT that you presented in front of everyone. And most of you, majority of you, have chosen English as your language to deliver what you have done as a report. That was very good. And this is our last session. We are going to do the Word file all together. This is the Word file that designed by Professor Lin. It's specific for PBL, so that you know also how to write down what you have done during a PBL section. So let's go to the first column of the Word file. Basically, you just provide your information about your background, student ID, and your name. Okay, and this this is for the reviewer or for the lecturer know that we are highly multidisciplinary group. You are from different background. And this is a treasure time that you can union together in one single section to do the PBL with very different knowledge in your brain. Okay. And the second, so far so good for the first column? Good? Okay. The second block is the block that we prepare for you as a report context. So today we are going to also give you a very brief topics. This block is very useful when you discuss in a small group. For example, in a group of 3, in a group of 4, then you can write down your draft what you are going to prepare as a report in this block. And then the second function of this block is that later on you are going to send to professors the PBL sheet as your final one of your grading system. We have already know it's in your grading system. It's very important. So please do remember to send me because it will affect your grade. So you are going to, because you have a draft, later on you will have group discussion. Later on you will have a short present. Professors is going to guide you to revise your present, give you some comment. So you are going to have a good PPT at the end or a report. You can update your PPT inside its Word file. Okay, so this is what is useful for the second block, 2 functions. As a draft during your discussion, as your block, you can copy paste your PPT as your final grade reference. Okay, let's go down. Okay, and because this class, we have 3 professors, right? In the course selection system, 1 Professor Lin, 1 Professor Mujika, also the official, but he's not going to be with us today, and 1 is me. But I and Professor Lin will correct your report. We will also send to Dr. Mujika for him to see, okay? See. Okay, then going down. Okay, the third is Q&A. Do you still remember the principle of our Q&A is the same? Is the same? Is the sandwich Q&A, right? So you first of all, what is the sandwich Q&A? First of all, you give compliment, right? Yes. And the second, you ask what you want to ask as a question. And the third is the purpose of the third part is to have you to learn how to be responsible to the question you ask. Be responsible. So you need to have some hypothesis in your mind. You need to have some suggestion in your mind before you ask the question. And this is difficult for our local Taiwanese student, we know. Okay, it's already difficult for you to ask question. And sometimes because you are nervous, so you ask question in a too straightforward method. Okay, so try to use this.
This is our PBL.
Right, so imagine your muscle as an elastic band. Like the elastic band naturally have the ability to stretch, right? So what happens if it gets tight? So that means you cannot really stretch it as much, meaning that you, as a muscle, you cannot operate it as 100%. That's why today we want to present you guys the methods to release the muscle tightening by yourself.
So these methods are used for basically any exercise that involves your legs. We focus on the lower body, like our thighs and hamstrings, and we can apply all these methods to pretty much any sport, like running, swimming, tennis, basketball, volleyball, etc. And these are really good methods for when you don't have a pair personal trainers and you can do this all by yourself. And here are some method examples.
Very good.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.